name is Sister Sarah from the house of Officer Marataza. I'm here to share with you how I make my daily bread, as I call it. This recipe is something that I've learned through various websites and also through YouTube. And I wanted to share just my version of how to make it. So the first thing that I'll do is I'm taking about 4 cups of warm water, warm to the touch. You want it just a little bit slightly above warm, so maybe 110 or 115 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm pouring it into my mixing bowl. I also have about 4 tablespoons of active dry yeast. And also half a cup of sugar, whichever sugar that you prefer. Now I'm using brown sugar. Okay, and then I just want to stir it. Until it's mostly incorporated. And I'm going to let it rise for about, or proof as they call it, for about 10 minutes until it becomes all fluffy and everything. You can really see that the yeast has been activated. So after it's proofed for about 10 minutes or so, then you just want to add 1 tablespoon of salt. I'm using here kosher salt, whatever salt that you have. And then also some oil. Right now I'm using extra virgin olive oil. Just gonna put that in there. Stir it up just a little bit. And then, like I said, it's a lot of flour. So this is about 10 cups. I'm just going to add 4 cups at a time just to make sure that I'm adding what I would like. And not too much. Because if you add too much, it's going to come out just very flaky. The dough is going to come out very flaky and does not have a really good consistency to it. A little bit more than 4 right now. I'm just going to stir it up just to get it incorporated for right now. There's different ways that you can get the dough to combine together. Today I'm going to use the stand mixer. In the past I haven't just used my hands. It might take a little bit longer, but it still works out just fine. You just want to make sure that all the wet mixture is mixed in with the dry, and then it comes out to a very good consistency. So I'm just going to place it onto the stand mixer. And I will be using the dough hook in about 10-15 minutes maybe, but for right now I'm just going to use the pad. Just to get it started. So I've added about 4 cups of the flour. Now I'm going to add about 4 more cups, very slowly. As you can see, it's starting to form into an actual dough now. It's not as sticky. And at this point, what I really would like to do is put just a little bit more of flour, just to make sure there's not really a lot of wet spots on there. Okay, so then I'm going to scoop out all the dough out of the bowl. Some parts are very sticky. gonna make for some good bread. So now I'm gonna take the remaining 10 cups or more or less of the flour, just lightly flour it to cover it. And when I do this, I just want to make sure that there's no sticky parts. Okay, I want to make sure that as soon as I touch it, there's nothing coming back onto my hand. So the parts where it's kind of sticky, you just want to work just a little bit of dough onto that part. And then I want to just start forming a ball, a big ball, because then I'm going to put it into this bowl that's been lightly oiled so that it won't stick to the bowl when I put it in there so it can do its first rise. It's only going to do 2 rises. Now I'm just going to place this into the bowl. And I just want to make sure that it's not going to stick to the bowl. So for me, I just like to turn it over once it's first hit the oil, just so that I make sure that all the sides have some oil on it, because I just want the dough to rise, and when I take it out, it's not so much sticking to the bowl. That's all that is. So I just want to make sure that I cover it also. In addition to the plastic, I cover it with a towel as well, or just a regular kitchen towel. Okay, sisters, I'm going to show you really briefly how to use your hands. If you don't have access at the time to use a stand mixer, you can also use your hands to mix in the dough. You don't have to have a stand mixer to make the bread. Okay, so I've already put the salt, the oil, all the ingredients in my mix. I'm just going to stir it up very quickly. And then I'm going to start adding the flour into the mix after it's proofed and everything. When you're putting the flour in the mix, then I just take handfuls at a time and then try to stir it in. Okay? So it's going to take a few handfuls. I'm going to stir it in. I'm just going to keep stirring it until it gets very hard to stir. Where I cannot really stir it anymore. This is where I'm going to take it out and begin to knead in the rest of the flour. And the kneading process is just kneading the flour into the dough. So now that I made sure that it's mostly dry to the touch, where it's not sticking to me, now I can really knead it onto itself to make sure that it becomes smooth. Now it's the smoothing process. Now that no parts are falling off. So this is a pretty good dough because it's just a little bit falling off. So now I just want to make sure that it's a smooth texture to it. Into a smooth round ball, this is where I want to put this into an oiled bowl. So once I wash this out and put some oil in it, just to coat the inside of the bowl, then I'll place this into there and allow it to rise for about 30 minutes. Okay, so like I said, you don't want it flowing over your bowl. So here's how high it's risen. I may need this for later. Let's put that over there. So after that, then you want to go ahead and start making your loaves. Now this is where you get to use your hands a lot. Okay? And don't be intimidated by the dough. Your house is now filled with a wonderful aroma of fresh bread. It's time to take it out 30 minutes later. I do have a wire rack here just to set them on so they can cool. Now what I'm going to do is just flip it over. That's why it's so important to have that oil on the bottom of the pan to make sure that it doesn't stick when you take them out. And also it's good to have that cold oven when you put them in, not preheated oven, just so that it cooks more evenly. And you don't have to leave it in too long to where it gets too brown. So you see that the tops of the bread loaves are like a golden brown color, and the other parts of it, I can see on the sides, are kind of white. And I know that it's pretty much ready. I did read somewhere that if you just tap them and it sounds kind of hollow, then they're ready without sticking a knife in or anything. So I'm just going to flip these over. try it. Let me know how it comes out. And thank you for watching. Most High in Christ bless, sisters. Shalom.